Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's college planning tip of the week. As always, my name is Jack Wang, creator of the Smart College Buyer program, and with me is Nancy Steenson of Steenson College Coaching. Nancy, we're getting down to decision day. But one of the questions that's coming up quite frequently, especially this year in the pandemic, is hey, my son or daughter got accepted to multiple schools. We're trying to decide, but we haven't been able to visit in person. How do we pick and what do we do? How would you respond to that?
Jack, that is a very good question and very timely. I too am seeing a lot on social media about people saying, well, I got into this school and that school and I want to study computer science. Which is the better program? Good question, but there's so much more to the decision than which program is better. Oftentimes they're both great. They're just different. And as you and I know, many students end up transferring out of the major that they think they're going to be in. So that's not always the most important question. It is very hard in this pandemic when students have not been able to visit the schools they applied to. And now they're faced with making a big decision without having been on campus. So a few thoughts here for students who are trying to make this decision. I think the most important thing is try to find current students at that university to talk to. I think that's the most important thing. See if there's a student you can talk to who goes to that university so you can get a feel for what life is like on campus. All colleges have a vibe. They have a culture and it's very, very real. At some schools, everyone's wearing Sperry's, and at some schools, everyone's wearing Birkenstocks. This is true. Where are you going to feel more comfortable? At some schools, many, many students are super wealthy, come from boarding schools, and despite a full meal plan, they dine out at expensive restaurants several nights a week. If you don't have the budget for that, you may feel ostracized socially. Something to think about. Most college campuses lean left. We know this, but some lean much further left. Is that somewhere you'd be comfortable? These are all things to think about because that's going to be your home for the next 4 years. The other thing I would talk about and think about is cost. So once you have your net price, multiply that by 4 years so you can see the actual differential. Also, if you're going to be taking any loans, figure out exactly what your cost is going to be after the interest you're paying over 5, 10, 20 years, however long the life of the loan is. Do that math so you know if you're borrowing $40,000 over 4 years, what will you end up paying? Because it's not going to be 40,000, it's going to be more. Because that's a fair question and it's something that should not come as a surprise later. And that way you can really more effectively evaluate the difference in the costs between each of the colleges. The other thing I like to tell students is think about how far away the school is and whether that's an issue for you or not. Do you have to fly to campus? If so, is there a direct flight or do you have to connect? Once you land, how far is it to campus? Is it 20 minutes or is it an hour and 20 minutes? And what is the ground transportation? This will really matter Thanksgiving weekend every year for 4 years. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, I believe are the two busiest travel days of the year. When you're 18, 19 years old, you haven't done a lot of traveling alone, you've got a connection to make. You can end up spending the night in the airport with a missed connection, and you can end up missing Thanksgiving dinner. So think about those variables. I'm not saying don't go far away to college. I'm just saying collect all your information and weigh that against, the other information you have on colleges that are closer. There's also the issue of parents visiting. Most high school seniors that I work with can't wait to get out of home. They're going to be independent. They don't need mom and dad, every day telling them, do your homework. And I get it. But away is away, whether you're an hour away or whether you're 6 hours away by plane. Mom and dad are not going to be knocking on your door Saturday morning to ask if you've done your laundry. However, there is something in the fall called Parents Weekend once we get out of this pandemic, and hopefully this will resume. And you want your parents to be able to be there, and you have to ask yourself if you have the means and the time to fly across the country for a weekend, if parents will be able to do that. Or when you get sick and you have mono, do you want mom to come out and see you? Do you want to, jet home for the weekend? How easy or hard will that be? The other thing that I want students to think about is, do you see graduate school in your future? Some do, some don't. If you do, if you think you might want to go to med school or vet school or law school, keep in mind that your GPA from your undergraduate years is far more important than the prestige of the college that you go to. Far more important when you're applying to vet school, med school, and law school. So don't be too swayed by the prestige of one college versus the other. The most important thing is going to be your GPA wherever you go. And I guess the last thing I'll say is, the age-old question of big school versus small school, and a lot of students cast a wide net this year because they weren't sure what they wanted because they didn't get a chance to visit colleges. There are pros and cons to both. Small liberal arts colleges offer small classes, discussion-based. You get to know your professors. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Large universities offer many, many, many opportunities for different things that small liberal arts colleges don't. So there are pros and cons. It's not all good. It's not all bad, but think about which is more important to you. Do you want real small classes, or are you okay with lectures of 300? Because that's important. Every college has opportunities, big ones and small ones. But of course, the bigger ones will have many, many different clubs, many, many different opportunities for research and things like that. So these are all just a bunch of things to think about because it's an important decision. I wish everyone the best of luck. And I know that wherever you land, it's what you make of it.
But great tips, Nancy. I mean, there's, like you said, there's so much more than just the name, right? Because I think sometimes people get fixated on just the name. Thank you so much. And thank you all for watching this week's College Planning Tip of the Week. Everyone stay tuned next time when we'll share more great information. Stay safe, everyone, and have a great day.
Thanks, Jack.